Hello and welcome to another episode of An Echo of Glory. That was real, synchronised putting your phones away. I don't think that was caught on camera, but the timing of it was incredible. You both made the same action at the same time. Anyway, I'm Jonny Blaine. What? We're on. I'm Jonny Blaine. Joining me, Adam Nathan. Hello.
How are you?
I'm all right. I think I've got a bit of a hacking cough, so apologies there if I'm coughing my way through this. Like that bloke from The Fast Show. Do you watch The Fast Show?
Not well enough to know what you're talking
I can't
about.
remember his name. Someone might remind me. And Gary Diamond, hello.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. I think we're all feeling a little bit better this morning than we assumed we were going to be. We probably all had in our mind what we were going to talk about today, but it's changed and for the better, I'm sure. Should we dive into some club news?
Yeah, just very quickly, I was really conscious to not wear black today.
Oh yeah,
you've been pointed out.
F-Sank's had a pop at you.
Sorry.
I do you know what? I before I came out, I was like, went to get my black jumper. I was like, do you know, I'm not going to do it today. But you didn't get the memo.
I always go to work wearing a black top. It's like, come on, give me a break. Also, we've not podcasted for such a long time. I've almost forgotten what the protocol is.
Was it a week? We did Fulham.
Yeah, and then it's 2 weeks that the listening millions have been waiting for us.
Oh, because we didn't play because of FA Cup. We didn't do one after Atletico. We are going to talk a little bit about Atletico. As Chris Jones says, yeah, Bob Fleming from The Fast Show. And that's kind of what I've been sounding like all weekend. So we will see. Right. Little bit of club news. No game for the 21s. So not that much club news. Under 18s beat Southampton 4-1. As Gary, you posted on our group, a halfway line goal from Reece Elliott Paris. Incredible. There seems to be a lot of those happening. Yeah. More and more. Did you see Arda Güler's for Real Madrid?
Yes, that wasn't halfway line.
That was it.
That was like 3/4 of the way down the pitch.
Yeah,
that was unreal.
I couldn't kick a ball that far.
No.
Into the goal.
I wouldn't make the halfway line from where he was. Yeah, that was phenomenal. But the under 18s are doing really well. They're, I think, top of the league. Chelsea have got 2 games in hand, but Spurs have got the points on the board, and they're flying. So the under 18s are doing well, and then the women.
Oh, they lost home to Everton.
They lost home to Everton. Poor result.
At the stadium?
Yeah.
Was it?
It was at the stadium. Yeah. It was I think they did a bit of a thing, actually, again, because my wife's aunt is very involved with that through, I think, a cancer thing that they do.
Yeah, I remember you saying.
And I think they did a bit of a Mother's Day thing for some of the women there. So she had a lovely day, but unfortunately, the ladies lost.
I think they've got an opposite to what we've got with Everton. Here's hoping come May, or whatever it is. They never seem to beat them. It's a strange record they've got.
But they're still having, comparatively, I think, their best season on record.
By far.
They're doing well overall.
Yeah. Any other business? Obviously, we'll talk about Tudor and the first team, but anything else that's caught your eye this week?
I know we briefly mentioned that we're not going to talk about it, which is fine, but there seems like a unity directed for the Forest game that, any protests before the game have been cancelled, rightly or wrongly. There does appear to be a movement towards the collective being the reason that Spurs get out of this issue. I think people said the away end was unbelievable yesterday. Full disclosure, worked all day yesterday, haven't seen as much of the game as I would have liked to, but it sounded like the away end were great. There were 2 kids on the pitch, which was a lovely interview with Malsey, interviewing Olasesi and the other kid that came on. It just does start to feel like everyone's realised that collective is going to be the way forward. Yeah. And I think probably a good decision by Change for Tottenham, who I do fully support, to just sort of park the protest for this weekend.
Yeah, I've not read the full statement, but they released one either last night or this morning saying there was going to be a protest on the board and whatever else before Forest. Not at the time.
No. 100%.
And Billy T from Twitter and his crew are trying to get a whole, call it the Everton vibe when they tried to stay up pre-Forest. Yeah, spot on.
Yeah, it is. It's going to be, I think that, the Forest game, we were saying before the Palace game that it's one of the biggest in recent history. The Forest game now supersedes that and absolutely is the biggest in recent history. Because if we win that, we're not safe, but we're in we go into that international break with a bit of a, and we get players back, and we've got a nice run of fixtures where you can see points being
picked up. Get players back, all right, Johan Langer.
But you can see points. So it is a massive game, and the collective is huge. And you're right. Like yesterday, the 2 kids coming on, Olasesi, James Roswell at the end. Although I disagree with the James Roswell sub, just on the premise that we had a corner
taken off our best header of the ball.
With literally 20 seconds left to play. I can't get my head around.
And when Danso nodded it back, who would have been stood?
I can't get my head around why he made that sub at that time. And this is nothing against James Roswell at all. It was just, you've got a chance to win the game. Like, I didn't get it, but it was lovely for those two kids to get their debuts, and certainly Odysseus had a very composed performance, even if, again, I disagreed with moving Archie Gray out of midfield. But we'll come on to all of that.
Let's go back to, I forget when it was. It was last Wednesday.
Tuesday.
So,
Unless you got club news from last Wednesday. But if you're going to talk Atletico Madrid, that was Tuesday.
We don't need to talk in depth too much about the performance, but obviously the first 17 minutes we have to talk about. Personally, I was one saying, yeah, it's time to start Kinski, because Vicario is terrible. And Kinski was awful. Whether Atletico Madrid had played silly buggers with their pitch, probably. Barcelona had it in their 4-0 Copa del Rey, was it, defeat? Fine, we suffered from it. I think he had to start Kinski, or didn't have to. I didn't mind that he started Kinski, and I had no problem him taking him off. In fact, I think I said I wasn't the only one, but just before it happened, he's got to take him off.
I think I was calling for Kinski going into the game against Palace, and I think that would have been the game to have started him because, he's got his home crowd behind him. And if he gets through that Palace game with, good performance, then it feels very different going into the game against Atletico. My issue with Atletico, you mentioned the pitch, is I find it incredible because this pitch has been, it comes out after. Obviously, I'm not so abreast of everything that I know, but it comes out after the articles have been written about the state of this pitch. The Atletico captain has complained about the state of the pitch. Barcelona was slipping, as you mentioned, all over the place.
Have you seen any
pitch.
Atletico players fall over, though?
No, but the Atletico captain has been out in the press really complaining and going mad about the state of this pitch. And presumably the Atletico players are aware of it, so wear long studs, right?
Did we warm up on that side of the pitch? Do you know?
We must have trained on it the night before. We must have warmed up on it. To me, I don't understand how at this level you've got a club full of analysts and not one of them said or was aware of this pitch problem. And to me, that is a higher problem at the club than poor Kinski, who slips. Nothing you can do about that. I don't lay the blame for him. That just is. Van de Ven done the same thing.
Yeah.
Right? He
blame
slipped.
him. It just happened.
The second goal, I think, is a direct consequence of what's happened before it. I think if he hasn't slipped, he hasn't got that nervy, jittery thing, I think he just shit himself, right? Which, okay, again, you get it. You understand it. Personally, from my point of view, I would play Kinski on Wednesday night against Atletico at home. I absolutely would give him another chance because as much as Vicario came on and had a good game and made some good saves, and as much as yesterday he made one or two saves, he also flapped one in yesterday. And I just think he kills us. I think he kills us with his kicking. Liverpool yesterday, their biggest chances came from Vicario basically having, wetting the bed every time he got the ball. He literally did.
But going back to, do you agree with taking him off after 17 minutes?
No.
Really?
I don't. What I would agree with would be the senior player out on the pitch, like Romero, putting his arm around him.
Well, the rumours Romero said take him off.
Well, I think what should have happened should have been they put their arm around him and you say, we're going to rally round you. This isn't your fault, mate. Let's get on with it, okay?
It was like a cauldron in there. Did they play at the? They played at the Calderon.
I think once you take him off the spot,
he was completely lost focus. It could have. I reckon it would have been 6-7. Is that good for the algorithm? Had he taken him off? Had he kept him on? I do. Well, it was 5 anyway.
As a general thing, for me, the Kinski situation sums up so much of the issue of the club, which is with Vicario and even going back to Conte and then Ange and Frank, the whole club exists on spotting that there's an issue and instead of dealing with the issue at the time, just hoping and assuming it'll magically get better. And then you end up in a position where you've got to make a last minute Hail Mary style change to try and save yourself. And Vicario couldn't possibly play against Madrid because the home fans were booing his every touch against Crystal Palace at home at the end of the first half. The relationship was done. But that is the last game of any that you think, well, now we'll bring in our kid goalkeeper. Frank with Tudor. Frank should have gone in November, as everyone knows. And then you end up in a situation in February where you're stuffed and you've got to bring in Tudor. And it just... it angered me so much because it was one of those things that was so preventable because Kinski could have started
Yes.
at home to Sunderland, or even away at Burnley, where it's going to be a more simple game. But we just force ourselves into these positions where nothing good can happen.
That's quite right. You think back to the likes of Dragushin coming in last season in his first game, having had loads of opportunity to have played, and he gets sent off in 5 minutes against Farmer League FC.
Yeah.
We won the game. But that's what happens when a guy comes in completely cold.
Look at
Turns
the
out Dragushin's actually not very good, so that also played a part in that,
but
right?
The left-back situation, just hoping it'll magically get better, it doesn't, and then you knacker yourself.
You've got to give these players, to throw them into the heat of battle without any football behind them for a long time. And then you've got the problem with the pitch, and none of the analysts said, guys, maybe long studs today. Don't go out in your slippers like you normally do, right? I just think the whole thing was bad. But as a wider thing on that Atletico performance, the shame of it all is, people laugh at me here, I think that's a 1-1 game. No,
we don't know.
I get it. I get it. Well, they didn't though, because you've got Simeone on the touchline, really fiery, screaming them forwards, wants to absolutely kill us as he does every team. And I just don't think Atletico do take that.
Well, they weren't good.
I don't think they play in that way. They weren't good.
No, they're not.
We've gone into a tough game. We've made 3 mistakes, and they scored from a free kick that never was familiar. They scored from a free kick that never was, but we scored a perfectly good goal and won from a terrible mistake. So I think it's a 1-1 game. I really do. And I think we've gone there, and I think that both the Liverpool performance and the Atletico performances are 2 performances that take the mistakes out of them, out of Atletico. And I think there's something there. There's just a little bit of something to start feeling positive about.
Well, let's come to Liverpool. Just a couple of things. F. Sank. What's that stat doing the rounds about Vicario's mistakes? I saw a rogue stat last night, I think, said he's something like 67% of the goals.
There's no way that's true.
That's like that. Was it? And someone wrote a stat that Baresi and Maldini conceded 8 goals in 400 appearances. Zidane was never offside. Pilot put it in there. But there is a stat which I can verify. He's conceded 11 goals from outside the box.
Which is the most?
Yeah.
What's the next?
Verbruggen, Petrovic, Donnarumma, and Matt Sells on 7. So 4 more than anyone else. And I remember after we lost to Villa in the league, when first time I noticed him standing in Chit King when we should score. I don't want to say I told you so, but there's definitely a problem with him. And I'm not the only one saying he's a bad goalkeeper, but he makes some really good saves, but it's mostly the ones that just hit him. That one, was it City, got save of the month?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good save, but that's just it's the ones where you've got to think about it, look at distance, position yourself, get your feet right. Can't do it.
He made 2 very good saves yesterday. One was at 1-0
onto the post
when he got fingertips onto the post. That was an excellent save. It just was. And the other one where Dragushin, God, I don't know what he was doing. And Salah and the ref gave a goal kick, but there was an absolute touch off of Vicario, and without which I think it goes in. And this is the problem, right? But it's a little bit like, I just think back to Roy Keane when, he makes the save with his fingertips onto the post. He's got something onto that Salah shot. He's done his job. Yeah. He's done his job. Right?
That's the best action you've ever done.
Right, but that's the Roy Keane thing, isn't it? He's done his job.
Yeah,
that's what he's there to do. He's a goalkeeper. He's done his job. It's brilliant. I've just got prime Roy Keane in my head when I think of that. He should be making those saves. He should also be saving the free kick.
He last week, might have been a couple of weeks ago, couldn't find the halfway line from a goal kick. You might not have seen it. Did it again yesterday. Yeah. Liverpool had a 3-on-2 or 2-on-2 after that. Yeah. He's trying to kick it left, and he's kicked it right central, not made the halfway line.
But this is going back to I don't remember if I said it already or not. To me, Liverpool at their most dangerous yesterday when Vicario had the ball. Mm-hmm. I genuinely mean it. Because the defence didn't know if he was going to go. He played one out to Archie Gray when Archie Gray... We conceded a goal like this earlier in the season when he did the same to Archie Gray. I can't remember who it was against, and Gray got mugged. And Vicario went mad. Was it Forest? And Vicario went mad at Archie Gray. And it's like, he doesn't want it there. Doesn't want it there. And also, you've got 3 big lads up front yesterday. You've got Tell, Solanke, and Richarlison, which made all the difference.
Well, they did go long more.
They did go long more. But sometimes he's playing it short to Dragushin's left foot, who then just plays it out. Sometimes he's banging it long, it's going straight through to Alisson. Other times he's playing it long and it's not making the halfway line.
It's a problem.
You can't line up. As a team, you can't set up.
Yeah,
and other times he's getting the ball and just ballooning it out for a throw-in.
They've got to fix it in the summer. Right, let's move on to this game. Before the game, much talk that it would be Tudor's last win, lose or draw. Obviously draw, but what were you thinking going into the game? Obviously, I assume you were thinking we ain't getting shit from this game.
Yeah, it felt like they were almost sacrificing it and not giving, never waste your new manager bounce, I suppose.
New manager trounce, they were calling it.
And I suppose if they were thinking of making a change, don't throw the guy into a away game against Liverpool, because you might lose some of the, and if so many injuries, suspensions, if it becomes really bad, then any momentum that you might want to take into Forest would be lost.
Yeah.
What they do now, I suppose we'll discuss it. But I think most of us were under the impression that was thanks and goodbye, Igor, this morning, regardless. I assume we'd be podcasting this morning and James would tell us that he's gone.
Well, no, in fact, the opposite. They've come out and announced this morning that he'll be taking the presser for Wednesday. I don't feel they need to announce this stuff. He's the manager. Until you sack him, he's the manager.
I don't think they are announcing it, though. I think it's natural that you tell the journalists who's going to be hosting the press conference,
we don't need this game by game stuff. He's the manager, whether you like it or not. Let's just take yesterday's positives on. And one thing he did do yesterday was change his formation, which after 4 defeats in a row, terrible defeats in a row, it's something he had to do. Yeah, we were completely limited. 7 subs, 2 keepers, 2 adults on the bench, 3 kids. Absolute shambles. I mean, Paulinho and Romero bumping into each other for no reason at 5-2 down.
That was the most Spurs thing in the world.
Yeah. If you asked someone to script a football season for a TV show, I don't watch that. Ted Lasso, whatever. But you'd be like, this wouldn't happen. Now, after all that, you've written this couldn't happen. But it happened. So we line up at Anfield. Again, you look at the team and you're going, I can't work out this formation. But it was a 4-4-2 with Vicario in goal, Porro, Danso, Dragusin, Spence, Sousa at right midfield, did all right to be fair, Gray, Sarr, Tell, Richarlison, Solanke. Didn't have many options, did he really?
It was interesting. I found it really interesting. You think about Sousa at right midfield and you've got Kolo Muani on the bench. And I respect Tudor for making that decision, because I think what's needed at this moment, I mean, obviously Gallagher was slated to play, and they'd been training with Gallagher, and he said very clearly, and then Gallagher's unwell, and he also said that Gallagher would be in the middle, so we don't know quite what the team would have been had Gallagher been fit. But I found it a really brave decision to go and play a left-footed kid at right midfield ahead of Kolo Muani, because that should speak volumes to what's needed at this moment.
But also, do you not feel you need to have something on the bench?
Yeah, quite possibly he may have been feeling that, but it's to leave Kolo Muani as a right midfielder, right winger, he can play there on the bench for Sousa to play at right midfield, I think is a huge statement and a really brave move. And I think if we had lost, people would be raising a lot of questions about that. But actually, I think what he was saying was, I want fighters. I want people that are now going to scrap, because that's what we need, right? And Kolo Muani has been a fucking disgrace.
Did really well when he came on.
Did very well.
Did really
set up the goal.
No, but not just that.
Yeah, he set up the goal and he played well. He tried to carry the ball.
Yeah.
Maybe that's the rocket up the arse that he needs. Or maybe Tudor's looked at him and gone, he's actually only got 20 minutes in his leg. He's carrying a bit of bulk, and maybe that's all he's got. Either way, it screamed to me of a decision where I don't like a lot of Tudor's tactics before. I don't like a lot of his substitutions that he makes. But it screams to me of a guy that's getting to know his squad, who's available, who can do what, and he made a brave decision. I was for it.
When we do our predictions, I was going to say every week, I'm always like, when do Spurs surprise you? And it's been, for me, it's been a long time since Spurs surprised me. Yesterday, 100% surprised me. At what, you weren't watching the game, but I assume you were following it.
And when normally we're on the rough end of this, but when it's 1-0 in a game you should win, in your mind, you always think the other team is going to score at some point, because when what games can I think of? I mean, so many games that Spurs have had where, I'm thinking Wolves at home in 2012 when Modric scored that goal. We should have won it at Cantor. We're at our best ebb ever and Wolves pegged us back. I was thinking the whole way, like, are we going to score? What? Because 1-0 for the favourite, we're going to score. And then my phone signal dropped out. Then it came back on. Then just like a raft of messages that we won, that we'd scored. And I wasn't surprised that we'd scored, given sort of what I've picked up watching football over the years. Like, it just got a funny way of doing things in games like that.
It was the first time in a long time. My son isn't really into football at this point, but he likes to sort of, particularly when I'm getting a bit
Riled.
shouty, a bit shouty at the
No.
TV. He likes to come in, and he's sort of
Yeah,
like he thrives on that. So he was like, "Can I watch it with you, Daddy?" So he came in, and I said to him, "I'll tell you what, I think Spurs are going to score. Give it 10-15." He came in about the 60th minute. I was like, I think there's a goal here for us, like in a big way, and I haven't felt that in a long time. I haven't seen in previous games where we're getting a goal from. It didn't look like there was the intent from the team to try and get a goal. But I turned around, I was like, there's a goal coming. After about 15 minutes, he was like, got a bit bored, and off he went. And then obviously I've hit the ceiling when Richarlison's, and he's come flying in again. But it felt like what you were saying. It felt like there was a goal there for us, and to the point where he scores in the 89th minute, and I'm thinking to myself, we can win this. For me, the only team winning this is us, and Liverpool really only looked dangerous on the break at that point.
Yeah.
But the only team pressing for the win was us, and the positive to take out of it.
There's a lot of positives.
Aside, the big positive to take out of it, the biggest positive to take out of it, aside from the point, which is huge, is going into the game where I had a big concern was Leeds are fighting like hell. West Ham are scrapping and fighting like hell. Forest have looked like they're fighting and scrapping like hell. And we just look like we're rolling over and getting our bellies tickled every week. We fought like hell yesterday.
Yeah.
That was a team that had a bit of pride, a bit of something about them. And whether it was for Tudor, whether it was for professional pride, whether it was for the fans, whatever it was, that was a team that for the first time in many, many months yesterday, I looked at and I said, well, okay, these boys want to roll their sleeves up.
They were in the game for the whole game,
And that,
for the first time
and
in a
that
long
was
time.
the biggest positive, was they had a bit of something about them.
We've all screamed at Langer and Vinay and Frank and this one and that one. And I kind of all week have been like, I'm fed up pointing the blame. It's the players' turn now. I've had enough of the players show us something. And they did.
Yeah, well, we've all been saying quite forthrightly that we believe the players have got more to them than what they've shown.
Yeah.
And I think Jack Pitt-Brooke wrote an article a couple of weeks ago in The Athletic about this, saying that there's always been a reason that the players can hide behind something. And blimey, have they taken every reason to do that. But now it is time for the players to sort of, not prove us right, but sort of back up what we've believed, that there is some talent there. And there is a bit, heart and fight, back to the Roy Keane thing, should be the bare minimum you get out of your players, particularly at a time like this. And look, maybe it's playing at Anfield, there's maybe that makes you up your game 5%, playing.
Doesn't normally when the Spurs play there.
Normally, but a lot of players, go to big stadiums and it does. Maybe it was just an Anfield thing, but hopefully something has clicked within them that they just think.
The slight concern is.
Oh, I've got slight concerns, don't worry. Whatever you say, yes, slight concern.
I just hope that it wasn't a case yesterday of we've got nothing to lose, so therefore the pressure's off. Come Forest.
No, the pressure was very much on.
Well, yes and no, but we were just discussing, weren't we, before we even really got into this, that was this just one that, the players are going to toss off and throw and, get on with it versus Forest. It did.
But you know what, guys? They could have tossed it off, but they also could have just tried to play and been shit, which has clearly been happening.
But the biggest indicator, because you and I, you looked into this, but it's something that I think I commented on the last time, was our running stats.
Right, so I'll give them to you. So how many?
Because
games?
this
been in
is
charge.
indicative of not tossing anything off.
Yeah, so he's been in charge for 4 league games. He's the most we've run in any games this season was yesterday, 117.8 kilometres, outrun Liverpool by 9, which in a football match is a lot. That's a lot.
Liverpool were poor.
Yeah.
They looked very passive yesterday.
But the second most we've run in a game was Fulham away. So 3 of Tudor's 4 Premier League games are in our top 5 running stats in the Premier League this season. The only one that wasn't was Palace, but you had 10 men, so your stats are out the window.
And isn't it funny that some of in his first week, a lot of the training videos were of us running.
But the criticism from pundits was, why is he making them run?
Why is he making them run? Well, and then you think back to some of the things that were asked of him. Why is there this injury crisis? I think I know. He went, I think I know the reasons, but I can't say. If your players aren't fit enough, if they're not strong enough, if they can't cope with that level of intensity for 90 minutes, then they're going to get injured.
Well, I brought this up about Norwich, guys. Philip, I know it's Norwich, and what's the point what I'm trying to make? Philip Clement came in, Norwich were on the floor. He came in and went, basically you're the unfittest bunch of players I've ever seen in my entire life. They were bleep testing like 3 times a day for 3 weeks, and now Norwich are flying and could potentially go up.
Yeah.
The informed team in the Championship. Just using that as an example, like you say, Gaz, these professional footballers are all footballers. Do they really need? It's the old, is it Danny Blanchflower? If we don't see the ball in training, how do we know what to do with it on a Sunday morning, on a Saturday afternoon? Maybe you're right. Look, I try not to give Tudor too much props because we don't really. I'm still very wary of him as a manager, but yeah, if he's come in and gone, you guys can't run.
Yeah, you're not fit enough. You're not strong enough. You can't play with the intensity. You haven't got the what's the word when you keep going?
Momentum.
Desire?
Momentum.
No, not the momentum. The when you keep running in a marathon, what's it called?
Endurance.
Endurance, whatever. You can't do it for 90 minutes. So how can you possibly hope to get a result? But you look at these running stats, and again, there's a lot of talk about have the players just thrown it in or whatever. But these running stats don't seem to suggest so. It actually looks like they're running more. They're working harder. They're getting stronger. And it looks like the desire's there. And the positive going into the remainder of the season is, I don't think Tudor is a long-term manager for us at all. I don't think he's at the level. But if he's come in, given the players a rocket up the arse, and for all of the reports of, they don't like him, that. Do you know what? They can fuck off. Get on with it. They need a rocket up their arse. They need to work. And if he's going to get that from them and get 3 wins out of it, then he's done his job. And fair play to him.
Does it matter if they played? It doesn't really matter, does it? If they played for him yesterday or for themselves or for whatever. Just do it for the next 8 games. Doesn't matter.
I don't care if they're playing for their salaries not to be cut. Just anything. Whatever you need to motivate yourself. You've all seen The Last Dance, the Michael Jordan documentary, where he basically says he was inventing stuff that people had said about him in his mind as fuel to go and beat them. Because completely inventing it. Fine, do that.
Yeah.
If Van der Ven needs to invent that Tudor says you're a terrible player unless you win 4 games, fine, do it. Whatever you need to do.
Yeah, well, he's one of the rumoured players to be tossing it all off at the moment. But
I don't believe this at all. Go on, sorry.
I do think that, and I felt this about Bilbao, and people have been talking about Bilbao a lot, but I remember saying, in fact, watching when Liverpool beat us last year to win the league, there was a real collective players in front of the Kop celebrating with the fans. And I think I said on the show that if we do win in Bilbao, the ill feeling that we've had with the players this year, as much as it is as a group, it will be for us. And I've taken that into this year as well. And, they're talking about the fans, how good the fans were in the relationship. For me, that is gone. And whatever we might see, that there isn't a relationship between the players and fans now. We're doing this for us. Correct. And I actually don't give a toss about any of them. Correct. I want this for me. Yes. I want it for you. Yes. I want it for your kids. I want it for my mates that basically can't sleep at night. They don't care. Yeah. Whatever. This is about us and our lives. And that's why I want it. I don't give a toss about any of the players and what it does for their careers. It's just about me and you right now.
Correct. Not him. Flanners, I like this. Relegation scrap Richie has been activated. A few of us have said, and on social media, he's the kind of guy you need. He's been there with Everton. He was brilliant. I've said before, I'm not a fan. As a footballer, he makes my eyes bleed. Actually, yesterday I thought he played not just well in the box, on the board he played well. He was great. He's the kind of guy you need right now.
I sat here earlier in the season saying I'd be quite happy to never see Richarlison in a Spurs shirt again. For the remainder of the season, he's probably our most important player. Yeah. And it speaks volumes about who and what Richarlison is. If you are a team that has aspirations of being a top 6, top 4 team, Richarlison should be nowhere near you because he's not technically good enough. Yeah. If you're a team that's going to play direct, horrible, battling, scrapping type of football, and he's been down there before with Everton, he knows he knows this path, he knows this road, right? He's the most important player. But it wasn't just about Richarlison because often he's played up top alone. Solanke did a lot of work. I don't think Solanke had a particularly good game, but he did a lot of unseen work. Poor, wasn't he? He did on the ball very poor, but he did a lot of unseen work. And when you've got 2 strikers occupying the 2 centre-backs, and then you've got Tell every time, whatever you think about Tell, I've said it before, whatever you think about him, he's aggressive. and he wants
He
to
was
make
good.
something happen.
He's good.
And when you've got that and you're going longer, you're cutting out the midfield, you're not trying to pass it through, you're not trying to ask Richarlison to play with his back to goal, you're just saying, go on, son, get onto that, win that flick on, get that second ball. He's the guy you want around, 100%. But as I say, it speaks volumes about the limitations of the player. And I still think that as and when we survive this season, and I believe we will, Richarlison should hopefully play these last 8 games, make himself an absolute hero, get 5 goals in these last 8 games, keep us up, and wave goodbye. Because going into next season, this should be a thing of the past. This should never happen again. We should never need Richarlison again. But right now, he is absolutely our most crucial player.
Yeah, hard to argue. And look, he also scores. Like, I know he's got the fighting or whatever, but a lot of players fight. His goal record is really quite good.
Yeah.
So at least he's also adding that. Who have we had in the past? Players that rat around for you but don't actually give you anything. People loved Lewis Holtby, one of my most hated players ever. But it's that sort of guy that's going to run all day for you, but if he doesn't do anything.
Well, people are saying that about Gallagher right now.
Yeah, but at least
that's
Richarlison
unfair.
also scores.
Yeah.
And you're not kind of taking off. You're not trying to make a choice of Solanke's your 25-goal-a-season striker or Richarlison's a 6-goal-a-season striker. He's the guy that works the hardest is also the one that's reaping the most rewards.
Yeah, it wasn't unnoticed that every one of our chances yesterday fell to Richarlison because why? He had the desire, the hunger to get in there. And fair play to him, he missed a couple that he probably should have scored.
He's
But he
also
was still in
he's a
there.
much better sniffer of chances than Solanke. I think that's a criticism of Solanke. We like his work rate.
But I think Solanke's a much better footballer
Yeah.
all round. And
But
I think if you
Richarlison's
are
a
a
sniffer.
better team in playing the ball to feet, I think over the course of a season, Solanke in a better footballing team would be a better option than Richarlison. Right here, right now, I think Richarlison up front with Solanke is a fantastic option because not many centre-backs want to play against them too.
Two comments. Pilch, Richarlison's form goes up and down with his fitness, of course. He's clearly motivated to play for Brazil this summer. Look,
Fine.
His English is still poor. He's been in this country 10 years. The reporter...
As you said,
Fine.
whatever the
Yeah,
motivation.
whatever you
exactly.
need.
But he said it. The interviewer asked him a question about, is he really... he loves playing against Liverpool. Does he get up for Anfield games? He basically swerved the question and went, I just need to stay fit and I'm thinking about the international team as well.
Yeah.
Great, fine. Do it.
100%. You've got a World Cup, every motivation in the world to play your
Go and score
quality.
every single week and start for Brazil. Thank
Correct.
you. Hotspur Sam, a big difference yesterday is that we got the ball up to our forwards a lot more. You said a few weeks ago, fucking change the tactics, kick it forward as near their goal as possible. Stats on that. Yesterday was the second most long balls we've played in a game this season, 68, and the most was Palace away. That was horrible. 69.
We won that game, though.
We won that game. The top 4 out of interest: Palace away, Liverpool away, Brentford away. Didn't play any football that day, and Fulham away. So 2 of the top 4 are under Tudor.
Yeah. And this is why I have an annoyance with Vicario, because his kicking is so erratic, and yet our goal came from Vicario finally pumping it into an area where one of our players was able to challenge, just the area.
Yeah.
That's all you need to do. You haven't even got to hit the player, just get it near them.
Yeah.
And finally he did that. And the other big chance that we had in the second half was, again, I think it was Vicario pumping it long, flick on from Solanke, and Richarlison's going in. There's a lot of debate as to whether that's a penalty or not. For me, it's not enough, and I know Spurs fans will hate me for saying that. I've been having arguments on Twitter about it.
You?
I
Arguing on Twitter?
don't think it's enough for a penalty. If it was given against us, I'd be fuming.
It would have been given.
It would have been. I mean, if it had been Romero, it would have been a penalty and a sending off. But that doesn't mean that it's a penalty and a sending off, right? But the point is that direct ball, defenders don't want to defend it. It's hard to defend against. When you've got 2 big guys up there, and then Muani coming on, he's another big lump. Tell is a big boy. You put that physicality into that direct football. I don't want to see that football. But fuck me, if it's going to get us results over the next 8 games, abso-bloody-lutely.
The goal, what was it, the second goal that Palace scored? Again, came from us faffing around. Tell finds himself in the left-back position. Was that a
Played
was
it inside to Saar,
Plays it inside.
lost it.
I don't want these people there. Get
But it
the
happened
forwards
yesterday.
forward.
Liverpool could have scored a couple like that
Yeah,
yesterday.
yeah.
He's playing it out to Dragusin on the left, and Dragusin plays it out. He's playing it to Gray in trouble. There's another time he did get it to Dragusin. Dragusin played it, but Liverpool pressed us. It just invites a press, and we're not good enough. We're not good enough, technically, at this moment, to play out of a press.
Get it forward.
So get it forwards, win that second ball.
Right, so the result itself, West Ham get a good draw against City. We didn't expect that. They have 1 shot and score 1 goal. extremely frustrating for so many reasons, but on a Spurs perspective, very frustrating. Forest, Fulham, I was watching that at work. Forest were bad, really bad. Had a chance at the end, but Fulham had the two best chances of the game. Probably should have won it. Fulham take 3 points off us and won against West Ham and Forest. Annoying. But Palace,
Fulham
Leeds,
were poor against us, by the way.
Pardon?
Fulham were pretty poor against us as well. We were just so poor.
Yeah.
Like Fulham weren't giving it much in the game. They just
beat us.
Yeah.
Palace, look, Leeds go down to 10 men, and amazingly, Palace didn't score 3 goals immediately like they did a few days before. Thank you, Calvert-Lewin, for missing a penalty, all that. A guy at work said to me yesterday, he's got no dog in this fight, he's an Oxford fan, rates Will Lancashire, by the way, but said, what's changed? Nothing's changed. I think I asked him, we're doing a show tonight. I said, are we doing Spurs tonight? Because we often do at the moment. He said, no, not doing Spurs, nothing's changed. And I actually said,
Everything's changed.
I think it has changed. Nothing's changed in terms of the league table. We won't know if it's changed until Forest, but your mindset is that no one was in the malaise that we were. And nobody expected us to get anything at Liverpool. And it has changed. And we'll come on to Atletico in a minute. I'm kind of annoyed this game's happening. Yes, they could go and play one. It takes it to Forest. I'll come to it in a second. Yeah. But it has changed because we're not the media. The media aren't kicking us again.
That's
this morning.
Just not being the whipping boys for a day.
Yeah,
I feel 10 feet tall, just like not having to see Jason Cundy with his mask on, which is a brilliant, very funny thing.
What is the mask? I've only seen.
It's an Ange mask, it's like a stretchy thing which looks like Ange, and it's funny. You have to say it's funny, but just not having it for a day, like being able to wake up one morning and saying, it's not about us this morning. I felt 10 feet tall. I got congratulated doing security at my son's school for getting a point. Like honestly, that's how it felt today.
Just on it, Gaz, on Wednesday, and just look, it's a really good point. Liverpool were bad.
It felt like 3 points. Honestly, I celebrated that goal like it was
I'm
3
sure.
points.
I'm sure. But Gaz,
and you're right. It's the relief. It's and seeing your team fight, and actually, we are not dead yet. Actually, there's a heartbeat. We're still alive here.
Correct. But we are still. It's not a win. Us and Sheffield Wednesday are the only teams in the 92 haven't won, and Sheffield Wednesday are playing kids on loan from Fleetwood Town. Like, they can't put a team together.
We're playing kids.
That's true. We should probably play more. But Wednesday, I'm strangely looking forward to Forest, mainly because I watched how bad they were, and it's a home game that we should win. We have to win. If you can't get up for big matches, we'd rather the big matches were at the top end of the table, but they're not. They're in this bottom half, fucking bottom 6. But Wednesday, I don't feel if we go and play really well on Wednesday, even if we lose but play well, you go, okay. But I feel like the vibes are better. We can have a long run up to Sunday. No injuries, no potential defeat, no potential bad performance. Obviously, it could be good. But for me, it's just like an obstacle we don't need.
I hear what you're saying, and particularly in a tie when we're all but out. Then again, we were all but out against Ajax, 3 goals down, with half 45 minutes to play. I think after that performance at Anfield with a last-minute equaliser that, as I said just now, felt like 3 points to me, it will have done to them. The players will take so much energy from that. I think it's a good opportunity to get back to ours against an Atletico that I said earlier. I don't feel that they're particular. I think they've got one absolute world-class player in Griezmann.
No, not even now, though.
Yeah, sure. But he's still, that touch that he took for their goal was outrageous. I don't think Atletico are very good. And I would be saying to these players, play 4 at the back again, right? And actually, I'll be going, I think, if Romero is available.
Do you risk... Sunday's so important.
I just think you need to get them playing.
Romero needs games.
I think Romero
can he play? We don't know how bad the concussion.
If he's available, but potentially your back 4 could be Porro, Romero. I would go Danso, another one by the way. Yesterday, won every challenge, won every header. Yeah. Again, not actually a good enough footballer to be in a team that wants to challenge for the top 6, top 4. But in a situation like this, right? He wants to defend. He's the only one there that actually wants to defend and looks like he enjoys defending. For me, he should play every game now for the remainder of the season. I'd have Romero at left centre-back and I'd put Van de Ven at this point at left-back, as I've been saying it for a long time. I've been saying it for a long time.
There's talk of Udogie coming back, but is he ready for Wednesday?
No, he won't be. But them 4, I would have those 4 if Romero's fit, playing against Atletico. I would then be getting your Sarr, Gray, Gallagher in front of them. Richarlison's not available, so Muani, Solanke and Tell, right? And get that team playing. Go long, go direct, start getting some momentum. And most importantly, regardless of whether we go out, go and get that positive home result
I get
that we
that.
can carry into Forest.
But there's a chance that it doesn't happen, and I feel the vibe gets killed a little bit.
Listen, the game's happening regardless, right? So
I don't know, can you forfeit? What difference is it?
I did say we should do that in the first leg. I did say on this show that we should have refused to play the game.
But the game is happening absolutely regardless. So all we can do is look at it and say, right, this is an opportunity to get used to, go and beat a top European side. Go and beat them at home.
I think that I don't think Atletico are good, but I think that's more that I don't think it's a vintage.
It doesn't
Atletico.
matter what we think of them. They are considered a top European side.
Yeah.
They are third in
don't
La
get me
Liga.
wrong. If it happens, guys, that is even bigger vibes.
Correct. They're third in La Liga, and go and beat them at home and get that winning feeling at the stadium again, because it's going to be at the stadium that we stay up. We can't be relying on going to Sunderland or Chelsea or what other, it's going to be at home, and we haven't won at home. So go and beat Atletico, playing a direct, horrible style of football, right? Keep doing what we did so well against Liverpool and get that momentum.
I think Atletico are better than Liverpool, or will be better. Liverpool were strangely flat. And Atletico will be in a mindset that, do they, don't they? But what was the game? I'm sure the crowd will be up for it. People will probably go now. We're all, let's be honest, we're all fickle. Like, on the back of a good performance, you're more likely to go to the next game. But what was it, Sevilla? When was that, 2004?
6-7. Oh, sorry.
It's twice in one show. What was you were out there and obviously had issues, but what was the score in the first leg? 2-1?
Lost the first leg 2-1.
And
we then conceded 2 goals, and Malbranque kicked himself in his own face and it went in.
That Dani Alves from Sevilla, I'll never forget that, because before the game was one of the best atmospheres. We were like, was it a quarterfinal?
Yeah. It was round 16 or quarterfinal. Maybe it's quarterfinal.
We were so up for it, and the place was jumping, and we're going to be. And Sevilla, that was a good Sevilla team. That was when Sevilla were strong. Well, they'd been strong for a while, but they were strong. They had Dani Alves and others. 2-0 down after 10 minutes, if that. There'll be a buzz around it. I don't care if we lose. Well, I do, but I don't want it. I'm so happy with yesterday. What I saw, I don't want the vibe to be killed.
Yeah, but the point is, I think if you wait a week after a last-minute goal, the first point of really good, positive performance, the players will be going into training today with a bit more of a spring in their step.
Yeah.
And I think, like, if you wait a week until the next game, that dies down. Get them out there again. Get them out there again. Really aggressive. Go at Atletico. Go and beat them.
Yeah, but you know what this is? This is basically my mindset for yours, which is fine. This is how you view it and how I view things. I'm sitting here stressing, going, we lose 3-0, the vibe's killed, and you're going...
If we come in on Friday and we've got injuries to this one and that one, and we took a 3-0 humping, then I'm wrong.
Can I just confirm on air that you've admitted you are coming in on Friday, because I do need you? Thank you.
Do you both want to go through on Wednesday night?
Yeah, that's a great question. That's a great question.
I swear I'm not asking it as like a clickbaity thing. Like, it's a general...
Yes, because imagine what it does for us if we've gone and beaten Atletico 3-0 or 4-0.
Do you think it would do anything?
Yeah.
Do you know that the problem is, right?
Yeah. Winning does breed winning in the short term. So
I don't disagree.
Let me ask you this, right?
I don't know. I don't know when the quarterfinal legs are. Like, what league games are around it that ultimately sort of are the.
But also this: imagine that we're beating Atletico by 3 clear goals, whatever that looks like, 4-1, 5-2, 3-0, whatever it is, in the 90th minute, and we're going, oh shit! What? Very few players on the bench. We've got extra time coming up, and we've got Forest on Sunday. Like. I want to win, but if we're going to go through, do it in 90 minutes, right? I want to go through because I do think it would be a huge vibe and something for us to really kick on from.
And it is what football's about.
It is what football is about.
I'm not going to lose any sleep if we go out.
At the same time, Arsenal in the semi-final if we get there?
No thanks.
No thank you.
Like, I mean, it's probably one of the few times in my life you're just saying there's a difference in our mentality. It's probably the only time in my life that my mentality will be aligned with yours. I'll be like, let's just go out in the quarterfinal. Let's not play Arsenal in the semi-final.
What's our quarterfinal?
However, I was thinking about this earlier. The last time that Spurs were truly bad, really bad, and Arsenal winning the league was 1991. And we played them in the semi-final. And we beat them 3-1. And it's just one of those seasons that you just think to yourself, wouldn't it be unreal to get to the semi? And listen, I don't think we're going through. So, And Chris makes a good point. For us playing Thursday night.
I think he's already said he's going to rest loads of players, though.
Are they chucking that?
Well, I mean, it's
They're
Michelin,
1-0 down.
I suppose. Yeah, I know.
Down.
And they're away, right?
They're away.
They're away.
Yeah.
By the way, on that, Hutchinson's interview, while you're looking something up, I've got to mention this. I mean, he spoke about the conditions of that game after, right? Now, there's two things here. Number one, I just don't think a footballer should ever speak about the conditions without saying, but it was the same for them as well.
Yeah, yeah.
Right? That's the first thing, right? Don't put the blame on the conditions. It was the exact same for them. But then he went, it was so bad, my face cream was getting in my eyes.
Unbelievable.
Huh? Like, I don't care that you wear face cream, but like, I don't know. It didn't resonate well with me.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
you want hardened battle footballers on that pitch fighting for you. Oh, my face cream got in my eyes.
If we do go through, it's Newcastle or Barca. The way Barca are playing, certainly at home, it'll be Barca. Yeah, just, you know what? No thanks.
Yeah, it's a bit.
And the
much, isn't it?
Sunderland game is the one in between.
Yeah.
Is that right?
I think so.
I would be very happy to see us beat Atletico by 2 goals.
Yeah.
You know, put a bit of pride back into that. I could even walk away from that saying, for me, on aggregate, we won because, you know, those goals shouldn't have happened in the first leg. The free kick was never a free kick. The first, you know, Van der Ven slip, the 2 goals that Kinski, we won on aggregate. Let's just do that. We can go out with a bit of pride. But even that 2-0 win gives us, we've beaten, whatever you may think of them, a top European side. We've won at home. It's something to really carry into that
they're
game
a good
against
team. They've won like
Forest.
8 of their last 9 games or something. I just don't think it's a vintage Atletico Madrid team. They got Sorlot up front who couldn't score for Crystal Palace. Couple of things on the weekend. A good weekend for Premier League memes. One came from Spurs where, is it Alex Dixon, the sort of, I don't know what he does.
Well, there's a question. Who is he? What does he do?
Yeah.
I don't know what he does.
What, if you haven't seen it, go and have a look.
What is this?
Tudor thought he was Arne Slot.
Oh, that was hilarious. Yeah, you just saw a bald head. Yeah, that was literally it. Just like that Tudor, I quite
in fairness,
like.
why is that guy standing in the middle of our dugout?
He's the players.
He's a player liaison,
he's a
right?
Player liaison, yeah.
Yeah.
Sit back there, mate.
Yeah,
You're not the manager. Like, what are you
He's
doing?
a big bloke, you tell him.
Maybe I will.
Get him in. And what do we make of that Chelsea huddle?
Oh, God.
Go on, you had a lovely
I
tweet.
honestly think the ref should have forfeited the game. Like, or it was such a ridiculous. When I saw it, come on, like, a few people sent messages like, it's really good AI.
Yeah.
That's so good. It's like really quite clever. And it was real. Why is the ref allowing that to happen?
The thing is, refs, that's where refs stand before
Yeah.
kickoff, right? And you've got, I don't even understand the principle. I guess they were at home and they were thinking, if we do it in the centre of our pitch, then we've got.
They did it.
all four.
Well, they did it at Villa in both halves. This is some new thing that Liam Rossini has concocted.
He is the worst.
Yeah,
I work with his dad. I'm not saying anything.
If Spurs ever have that type of manager, I think he's a very difficult person to sort of really get behind as a fan.
I don't think he's here much longer next season, by the way.
But
that incident was, look, the referees have come out and said, if something to do with it being Newcastle's kickoff, so the referee has to stand in the middle and sort of protect for shenanigans. It's Newcastle's ball.
So the ref's respecting the ball.
Yeah.
So much respect for the ball going on.
Yes.
No, but also, I guess it's like, you know, are they scuffing up the centre
Yeah, it's all
circle
that
and all
stuff.
of that
It's
sort
a-
of stuff, right?
yeah.
I just don't think it's necessary. Like, you do your huddle at your end of the ground.
Yeah, he's just trying to find new things, isn't he?
Like,
I actually hate all huddles in football. I hate it. I think it's such a performative.
It's pointless.
Modern. I know the only good one ever was Romero marching everyone into United's half in the Europa League final in front of the fans. That had something about it, but I do find these huddles and then you concede 30 seconds later. Like, what are they saying to each other?
I think it's just the last G up, right? Like, I don't mind the huddles. I've got no problems with it. But I
It's
just,
a bit rugby.
I've got no problems with it at all. Like, last, come on, lads, like, heads on. You know, now we're starting our heads on. Like, I don't mind it in the slightest. But this thing about doing it in the centre circle is just weird. But they're a weird club with a weird manager anyway. But there you go.
So how are we feeling about Igor Tudor now? It's interesting. We had Tim Sherwood on our show yesterday. And obviously, at like before 4:30 yesterday, everyone was really in the same boat. This bloke's going to go, and he's terrible. We've lost 4 in a row, and blah blah blah. And I have to say, I listened to Tim. And I know he. I'm not even sure if he divides opinion. I don't know how popular he is among Spurs fans, but he said something. He was very critical of Tudor, as we all were. And it has changed, of course. Football, it changes in football. The the mood can change very quickly. And rightly it has. But he said he said Langer and Vinay could have stood in the centre circle, spun round 3 times and pointed to the crowd, and they would have found someone who was to do a better job than Tudor. And I just went, yeah. At that point, yes. And obviously now, because we had a good performance, I sort of changed my mind. But
as is your right as a fan.
As is my right as a fan. He's changed the formation. And also I noticed yesterday, in the first few games, he sort of stood in that touchline like this. Very instructive. Players were listening. He was doing all of this and shouting and clapping. I don't think he thought for 1 second he was getting a sack after today. That could have just been noise on social media after yesterday. But where are you thinking now? Like, has he got another audition? Almost forget Atletico. Hopefully we don't get beat 6-0. If he loses to Forest, it's like, are we actually really, forget Atletico a little bit, are we still game by game? And Forest is actually big for him as well, because we lose that, he probably does have to go. Where are we now?
I'm really torn on it, because I know there's not a natural replacement. Yeah, any replacement now would be sort of a vibes punt.
Yeah.
And I don't know, because there's part of me that thinks that if we lose on Sunday and go down as a result and Tudor's the manager, are we going to be sat here in 6 months' time saying, we knew he wasn't right? We knew it. And we got the point against Liverpool, which is a massive bonus. But there was enough evidence, albeit in a short period of time, that you could say, this guy's not right. For a home game as well, to go and win a home game. I don't know. If we go down with him or without him, what are you going to think was more of a missed opportunity? That's the way I'm looking at it. And that's what I can't get my head around. And normally I've got an opinion either way on something, but I can't work this one out. But there is part of me that thinks if we go down with him because we lose on Sunday, and obviously it's the worst case scenario, will we all be kicking ourselves thinking, well, yeah, obviously.
But a 1-1 draw against Liverpool, albeit good, and the way we played and changed formation, all that stuff we've said, it's not enough yet. Nothing's really happened yet.
No.
Sunday is it, isn't it?
No, nothing's really happened yet. I do think, even though the results haven't been great, yesterday's performance was by far and away the best performance we've had in months.
But also, are you going to say, backing it up with the stats that we've picked out, the long balls and the running?
Yeah, exactly this, right? The more direct football, the 2 up top, the yards covered, the kilometres covered, right? It all points towards, I think every manager has a right, particularly when a club is in crisis and can't win a game, every manager has a right to come in. And obviously, from our point of view, we're like, we haven't got the time. But every manager has the right, really, to come in and assess and see who are the players I can rely on. What's actually going on here? The players aren't fit enough. I can't really do anything until they get fit enough, right? Every manager has that right. I'd still, like I said, don't agree with some of his tactical decisions.
Well, as Flanders says here, he can't go back to back 3 now.
No, exactly.
And was he playing a back 4 because he had to?
Well, maybe so, but even then,
he might have stumbled.
He might have learned to cross. Right, and man, that happens. You know, let's not forget Harry Redknapp was playing Luka Modric at left midfield and only ever played him central midfield due to an injury crisis. And he was saying he's too small to play central midfield. He fluked upon Luka Modric at centre midfield. He fluked upon Gareth Bale at left wing. And even after Gareth Bale was ripping up at left wing, Harry Redknapp was still saying he's a left back. Right, managers fluke upon things, and it changes things. So that's not a criticism to levy at Tudor, as long as on Wednesday, he doesn't go to a back 3. As long as on Sunday, he doesn't go to a back 3. As long as he learns, then that's fine. But the bigger issue for me is, as you said, if you sack him, who does come in?
Because we've got 3 weeks after Forest.
Well, we have got 3 weeks. So if you sack him, it's got to be then.
Yeah.
But are you getting in another temporary manager? I think if you're sacking him, it has to be a perm manager. And like I said, the last time I was on, I think the board are really hanging out for the easy vibes choice of Pochettino post-World Cup. But are we, in fact, jeopardising our Premier League status for Mauricio Pochettino in the summer? Because if we are, then it's not worth it. And if we sack Tudor, there's really only 2 options for me, given that Pochettino isn't available now. And they are De Zerbi on a permanent, and as lunatic as he is, if he was our manager, I would be absolutely certain that we stay up, right? Or Robbie Keane, and you say to both of them, you've got a contract until the end of next season with a view to extending as well. And Pochettino just has to sit on the sidelines. But if you're sacking Tudor for another interim manager, then I'd be saying, well, right now, the players are looking fitter, they're looking stronger, they are starting to fight. We're playing probably the only style of football, unless you're getting a real coach
Out of
like
interest,
De
Gaz,
Zerbi
if we'd lost one, Richarlison puts that wide, are you I know he didn't, but where would you still be saying that?
I think you still have to look at it pragmatically and say, that was a really good performance. I don't think many people could deny us being worthy of a point or even 3, right? So you say, you've gone to Anfield and, the thing that we need to overcome now is this confidence. We need to build a bit of confidence, right? But the performance was still there. If that ball goes to Richarlison, he puts it wide, then the reason you've not got a point is because Richarlison can't finish. Thankfully, actually, it's one of the better attributes to his game. And he did finish, even though he scuffed it. It was
I disagree with that.
I don't know.
You've got to drag that as a Sunday league
I'm not a striker,
You've
but
got
I
to
looked
pull
at
it
it like,
away.
that is not a clean contact. But I don't give a...
Yeah,
it's
he
gone
didn't
in.
need a
It's
clean
gone in.
contact.
So it's a great finish.
He didn't
right?
need it.
But the point I'm making is I still look at it, even with the defeat yesterday and Richarlison missing that big chance, and I go, there's enough signs there.
I get that.
And I have to say, there's something about Tudor I do. I don't think he's a great coach. I don't think he's a great long-term manager, but I think he's doing things that I do like. I think he's being hard on the players. I'm not one at this point with the way they've been to put their arms around that. Fuck that. Pull up your big boy pants.
Yeah.
Get on with it.
Yeah. We'll know more this week whether it was just because Liverpool were bad or it was because we played well and they're starting to listen to him. But like we said, don't really care. Just get on with it. But it's another big week, and we'll see how they react.
Yeah, we're just in a game by game
We are
situation now, obviously. But
Ryan asked if...
I was going to say, Ryan asked if we were going. For me, Palace was my marker. I said if they show me something against Palace, I'll buy my ticket for Atletico. I've got to give up a work shift. And I had someone say he'll do it if I wanted to go to the game. But I turned around to him and said, you know what? I'm not going to waste, 60 quid on those idiots again. I kind of want to go. If it was 2-0 or 1, I'd be bang up for it. But 3, I don't. I'll watch it at work and get paid for it. That's fine. You boys going?
currently not, but
You have a ticket, you're not using it?
I didn't buy a ticket.
So I'm sure there's plenty of
Yeah, that's the least of my problems. But no, I haven't got a ticket yet.
You're going.
I'm going.
Yeah.
I'm on auto pay, and you know what? Pre-Liverpool, it was in my mind, do I just loz it off? But I still would have gone because I've got nothing better to do on a Wednesday night. But actually, I'm really looking forward to it now after that Liverpool game. I'm really happy I've got a ticket. I'm looking forward to going. And I just want to see another really good, aggressive, positive performance and come out of there, even if we go out of the Champions League, just come out of there going, I feel like we are really on the turn here and going in the right direction.
James has already finished the poll, which means he wants us out. That's like that's him turning the music up. Huh? You haven't completed it? No, I have completed the poll. That's not me turning the light. The poll was: is this the start of turning it around? Yes, 58%. No, 25%. 17% Dele Alli, which is James just being hilarious. One thing we didn't mention in club news was season ticket extension. The club finally, with us a point above the relegation zone in March, noticed that we might be in danger. They didn't mention that Newcastle was Category B, which I thought was incredible. They had to do that. Do you know anyone that's bought?
No. I'd love to know, actually. I'd love to know if the club sat there going, we haven't had one
How many have we got? It's still none.
None.
Yeah. Press refresh.
Nobody
It's
has still none. Yeah, I mean, like, who is buying
Well, there's a problem with the premiums. These people in these 3-year contracts have been told, suck it up.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, look, I think it will be okay. I think we will stay up. But if we were to go down and they're charging the prices they are at the minute, even with the 4 games extra, and even if they chucked in the cup games, I'm sorry, fuck off. Like, I'd still get I would never give up my ticket unless I was in a financial situation where I had to. But it would be diabolical of them to not drop. And they might turn around and say, well, if you want us back in the Premier League quickly, as though I trust you guys.
Yeah.
Right?
Guys, they should drop the prices even if we stay up, mate. They won't, but they should.
I think they've committed to a freeze, but they should. You're right, they should. You know, the season ticket sales are actually such a small fraction of our overall revenue. It's frightening, and I wonder as well, just generally, you know, they started off the stadium with pints less than a £5. Pints are now £7.50 or whatever they are, right? And it's like, well, now there's no incentive really to get into the stadium earlier and create that atmosphere. Before it was like pints for £5, fuck yeah, right? Like drop the prices, drop the price of the food. I guarantee you end up selling more probably than you are at the minute. It's such an easy equation, right? You've got 2 pints for £15 or 3 pints for £15. You're going to have 3 pints for £15, and then after that you're going to go, maybe I'll have a
So how much are you going to spend before Nottingham Forest?
Oh God, I mean
£25, I think, based on your £35. Sorry,
I cannot. That game is going to need.
Well, we're going to talk about that
serious,
with you,
serious lubrication before
with you and Jake Saunders around about 10 o'clock Friday morning. We shall return. Adam, I suspect we might. I don't think I can do it after Forest. I've got to go to work. Annoyingly,
we've got somebody here, Joe Blogs at Joe Blogs DB2V7. Pool game was the best Spurs game I've watched at 2 a.m. in the morning in a long time. I've just got the most amount of respect for fans around the world who get up to watch us, particularly at this moment in time. That is just, and we often sit here and people, we don't, but people will say, oh, if you don't go, you're not a real fan. You're getting up at 2 a.m. to watch this shit. Like, you're just maximum respect for that.
Yeah, well done, Joe. Well done to us all.
Yeah,
I think we deserved it. We
We
deserved
deserve
it. I know it's all our fault or what's
Naturally.
happening, but we deserved it. Okay, James, you can turn the lights off, mate. We are done. My voice doesn't sound like it, but I can
You
definitely
got
feel
through
it.
You did well. You battled.
But I got through it. I'm sorry if the coughing bothered you. As Ryan says, the Liverpool performance made me, not
Correct.
Liverpool's performance, our performance at Liverpool made me
Yeah, I
proud for the
agree
first
with
time in a
that.
while. Let's take it on to Wednesday, see what happens. We'll be back Friday morning. We will see you then.
don't forget to.
Oh, yeah, like, subscribe, hype.
You got it.
Go
You'll
on.
make a great podcast host one day with all this Blano. You can do it.
James, have you added the merch button to the website yet?
Oh, yeah.
Because you should get onto that website. It is absolutely brilliant, and you should get into the virtual pub.
Yeah.
James, have you added that merch button? Because, as I say, Adam and I saw somebody at Fulham wearing merch, and
Hang on, I still haven't got my hoodie.
oh, don't blame me. I'll speak to him.
Where's my hoodie? Yeah. Yeah. Get an echoofglory.com. Get on there, get in the virtual pub during games. We're going to run a competition soon where you can pick a Spurs team in history, but it's going to be, I don't know, like your best Spurs team, only left footers or players we didn't pay a fee for. Voice is going. But get on this, an echoofglory.com. Like, subscribe, hype, do all of that stuff. We'll see you Friday and up the Spurs.